Half luck, half. But it is what it is, right? That's what you get in these things, man.
It's not luck, dude. It's not luck. I mean, I've been telling you guys for years that the best gains come from like right at the start, like before everyone's really realized like how big the impact is. Like, you think it's luck, but think about how much more balls it took to pull the trigger on that before, while everyone else is waiting for the pullback, while everyone else is waiting to be sure. Like, you've just got to take your nuts in your hands and fucking push your chips into the table when it's time, right?
Yep, definitely. Crazy weekend, man. Fuck, it was like being stick. I was like on my screen, and that's how it's going to be, I think, for the next couple of weeks. So yeah, it's gonna be freaking interesting, man. Finally,
So
action is here.
I was expecting a pullback. I thought it had just gone a bit too far, too fast, and the market's clearly telling us that every pullback that yesterday's move changes things, I think, because it means that the next pullback is definitely going to be bought. There's absolutely no argument that there was people waiting for a pullback to buy. And there's absolutely no argument that those guys are going to have to be forced to chase.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things, right? That obviously what
Thanks,
I've seen
Judy.
is
I wore a shirt today. Sometimes I go shirtless.
one of those things that obviously, in terms of mindset, because obviously of the fuckery that we had for the last couple of months, I think we're conditioned to wait for pullbacks. But I think
that's not the play right now. That's that. So in World War II, the American generals took a look at the French defenses against Hitler, and they were the same as from World War One, where it was like a long string, the Maginot Line. And the general said, well, this is great if you're trying to stop smugglers. Like, and this is the classic thing that traders do. They try and fight the last war. They try and expect it's going to do this, then it's going to do that, and then Bitcoin dominance is going to do this, and then it's going to do that, and then this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. And they try and time every little wiggle, and it's just too hard. You know, the guy who wins this is the guy who's got a reasonably spread portfolio, who's holding to the end, who catches at least one, 50 to 100 bagger and doesn't try and overthink it. Yeah, and Andrew Hart, it's got to be aggressive, which is so different than it's been. So the transition from playing defense to offense is going to catch a lot of you off guard. And this is going to manifest in a couple of different ways. This is going to manifest in you wanting to take profits too early. And it's going to manifest in you getting overconfident enough to use leverage at the exact wrong time. Just a quick question. What do you think of Hex on Pulse Chain? As it happens, I know and did a lot of business with Richard Hart in the late 90s, early 2000s. We both ran enormous spam operations out of Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. And so I know the guy a little bit, and a lot of my scammy friends from back then know him really well. No one would invest in his chain. No one would invest in his coin, because the assumption for a guy who's scammed every single thing that guy's done in the last 25 years has been a scam. And everyone who knows him just assumed that every last thing that he's ever done is going to be a scam. It's down 99.99999%, and it's not coming back. So no, I don't think very highly of Richard Hart and Hex Chain and Pulse Coin. I think if you've got any money in that, it's fucked. Sell it, throw it away. Just throw it away. It's a piece of shit, is my honest opinion. And I think he's going to jail too, for sure. No, Perry, that operation isn't why I ended up going to jail. I went to jail for pretty much everything you could possibly imagine. I was like an equal opportunity criminal back then. I did get my name listed on the 200 world's worst spammers of all time list. If you Google Register of Known Spam Operations, Roxo and Scott Phillips, you'll find that they still haven't let up, and they still have me on that fucking list.
Yeah. So the real bonus here, right? Who do you want to actually lead you through this fucking crypto valley of, oh my godness? Do you want somebody like Scott, or do you want somebody that says, there is a triangle here, which will, so.
I can put on a suit. I fucking wear a wig. I'll do all that shit. I can trade. I'm just not like the kids.
Exactly. So I think that there's going to be all kinds of emotions that are floating around with us breaking. Let's have a quick look at the Bitcoin chart.
Yeah, you go first, Ian. I always like your overview at the start. I mean,
yeah, we're going to go to the daily. I normally let's start with the monthly, but look at this on the daily. Let's get rid of this.
So those 3 days between the big candle and the second big candle, those are the price action wise. That's a very, very big tell, because that is a breakout transitioning into a short-term what do you call it? Short-term channel, which is a weakening uptrend, and that can go one of two ways. Usually buyers run out of puff and then it pulls back a bit and then goes again. But instead, the buyers are so horny, they've just aped it and they've pushed it over. I mean, that's a straight shot move from 66 to 80, like without a pullback.
Absolutely.
Incredible.
That is the real key thing about how much strength there is. But it's another clue as to how you can read this price action if you're completely confused by it, because we get this boner candle, we get this huge breakout, and then if we look at these 3 candles, the simple question is, where were the sellers? Where's the, is there any strength in the selling? And if we saw lots of little choppy black candles here and a couple of up days and a couple of down days, we'd be thinking, well, that's not super strong, is it? But we look at this and the way Scott's just described it with that weakening channel, bang, we're off again. There's just no selling.
And look at the highs, look at the close there. We got the very smallest amount of selling. I mean, the market is telling us loud and clear that everything's changed. It's not, if you look at it, if you look at the price action pre-election and post-election, they look like 2 different charts, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, really,
I mean, I think the most sensible thing that we can do is treat it, it's quacking like a duck, it's walking like a duck, it's looking like a market that wants to rip and run. It's looking like the strength is broad-based. Most things are still beating Bitcoin, which is amazing. Yeah, Bitcoin taps 82K. Like, what the fuck? No, ATR's pretty low on a weekly basis. It's like it's nothing too crazy. I mean, I would be expecting a pullback soon. Like, money's not easy to make, but fuck, you don't want to sell out on pullbacks. You don't want to try and time every wiggle here. This is not the time for getting cute. This is just the time for, like, honestly, get your portfolio set, take the week off. Is what I would do.
So let's just carry on with that idea of the pullback, and this time let's have a look on the weekly. Okay, so first of all, I mean, that candle's just lovely, isn't it? And that candle has just smashed through everything, and we've closed above the old all-time highs. Now, we don't have to retest this line. There's no law that says we have to. We can just blast off into space.
Only about 35% of breakouts retest.
Exactly. So we, like Scott said, take the week off. This might be that we just move sideways. Maybe we get a downside wick or something like that. Like, we don't know. So it's really just a case of, like, let it unfold. If we're doing the long-term plays where we're just holding for the cycle and a lot of our spot coins, well, we've done a lot of our business already. Pretty much all of our business should have been done. We've just had 8 months of a reaccumulation phase in which we can buy coins like Woo. Thank you. And yeah, so now it's like, okay, Maurizio, what trades have you got for some utterly ridiculous return that we can do?
He's done some fucking amazing shit this last week. Holy shit. You guys, if you guys aren't watching Maurizio's shit right now, like, he's beating the pants off me. He's like,
Fuck, man. This is the downside of this, right? Obviously, I've been glued to the fucking screen all the time, which is the downside. You know what I mean? So obviously, it depends on what you want to do. So obviously, this is the time to do it, but technically, I always do it anyway. But you know, spot is the easiest way, right? You buy, you hold, you wait for the bull run to top out. If it does, who knows? You never know. It could retrace, it could not. It could keep going for 6 months, 12 months. Who knows, right? So we respect this anyway. But yeah, it's going to get much more interesting if you actually, I'm gonna keep doing a lot of trading, especially like right now. I'm going to be holding a little bit more, but as we go, we can do scalps. We can do like a little bit higher leverage, less risk stuff, and it's a bunch of things that we can do now with this price action.
Why don't you take a little bit of a victory lap here, Simon, and show us what you did last week? Come on, it's pretty cool.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah, it was cool, man. So let me just. All right. So unfortunately, right. Let me just share my screen. So
he's too humble, but this motherfucker's been just absolutely killing. Like
Maurizio Sharp ratio is 2.5.
Oh, way more.
I have some views and I have some interesting stuff for this week. So all right, let's start with the stuff that we took last week. So and obviously I was glued to the screen because see, here's my thinking, right? And obviously it couldn't go both ways after Trump, like within Trump, when the elections happened, and
it could have gone either way, and it was a 50-50 call, right?
Exactly. So that was the decision that I took in terms of de-risking a lot of the stuff, because you do need capital. If you have enough capital to actually to deploy it afterwards and you keep buying. But then the thing though, think about it from the perspective that we talked last week. If Kamala won, you wouldn't have this. We've been talking about this for ages. Like if Trump wins, then there is the expectation that crypto is good, everything is fun, fantastic.
But I think did the scope of the animal spirits that victory is ignited. Like, I'm not a Trump liking guy, and even I find myself fucking excited about American optimism and American exceptionalism. Like, I can feel the vibes are back.
Definitely, I agree. And I'm not a fan of Trump. I don't like politics and stuff like that. But the guy has really good points as well, and the fact that he's pro crypto in a way. And
either way,
he's like, he wants to bring everything back.
But his kid is he launched a DeFi fork. Like he and his kid were going to jail if Kamala went.
Exactly.
So I mean, talk about pushing all your chips into the table.
So obviously based on that, I started to just, it was all this pump and all this sort of stuff. Watch the markets for a couple of days, but then start seeing that now I think the biggest rotation or the biggest thing that is going to have a lot of impact is DeFi. So why? To just mention Trump and, they do like DeFi, they want to bring the projects back to America. So it's this sort of like now investors or retail or people are willing to actually have risk on different.
He's talking about a strategic Bitcoin reserve stockpile and like all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, that's way better than him talking about fucking nuking hurricanes and taking over Greenland and shit like that.
Yeah, so the Bitcoin about the Space Force.
Space Force, fuck yeah.
So that then based on that, obviously, volatile comes in, but let's go through the charts and let me go through.
So let's look at the trade you took last week, dude. Like that was fucking ridiculous.
The one that you knocked out the park. That's what we want to see.
All right, so but this is the trade that we took. The drift. I've been following drift for a while, and unfortunately, on my de-risk, this one was like I chopped it off, and the reason why is because a lot of big whales were chopping it off as well, and it could actually go the other way completely. Once Trump came back in, I'm glad we were able. Well, it happened too quick, guys. Like it happened in about 5 minutes. Like after because I start seeing some on-chain reaction on this, and this is the thing sometimes with this stuff, you might not have enough time to actually place this trade. You know what I mean? Like, and this happened about 5 to 10 minutes after I placed the trade, and this thing went just ballistic if let's have a look at the 5-minute candles. And this is the price action that it happened in 5 minutes. And then, so this one was my pick in the reason of a lot of different narratives. So thinking from the narratives perspective, this is a DeFi protocol on Solana that actually does perp trades. So it's completely decentralized perp trading on Solana network. Two, Solana was ripping it off. Like Solana is actually going, like, it was like the only thing that I was actually pumping on Friday, my Friday, is Solana stuff. So Jupe, Camino, that's why I went in Camino as well. So obviously had a high conviction on this, and look at this thing, man. Like essentially by the time with this leverage, with all the trades that we have taken so far, especially Dodge, Dodge we started took this trade ages ago. We already 3x our account, right? Without risk. What I mean is that we're not risking a huge amount of money here. We're risking about 5% of a trade. If it doesn't work, then it's 5%. So this is the type of trades that I really like to take, low risk, really, really high reward. And it worked out, right? Like that's kind of the whole essence of the trade. Same thing with order, by the way. Order is actually going really well. I haven't taken any profits. Let's go through order because we took this one. Let me just bring it up to the 4-hour. And on bull runs, there is all these opportunities that we can actually capitalize on a smaller time frames. The downside is that we have to actually be on the front of freaking computer to actually take those opportunities, right? And order is actually looking pretty good. I'm planning to see what will be the behavior of order around here. But if you look at order from this perspective, if it breaks the 20 cents, the 21 cents, I think this was going to keep going. Why? So it's a bunch of combination thing. The research that I've done, and if you guys watch my videos, you know that I've talked about order a while back, and order is the back end of a lot of DeFi protocols. A lot of liquidity is going through the order network. So if DeFi rotation looks good. DeFi rotation seems to be like going well in terms of most of DeFi stuff is actually working well.
So the big news is DeFi and memes are where it's at right now, right?
Exactly. That's but then at some point I think it's going to start rotation to AI, right? So that's why I'm getting all my AI listing happening. A bunch of AI stuff is going.
So you like the smaller AI stuff. I like Tau.
Yeah. Let's have a look at Tau. So obviously this
and you
is
like.
All right, Tau. Definitely Tau is going to do well. Definitely. Like that's no questions asked, right? My question is in terms of risk, like if you want to hold the back of Tau is actually going to be pretty strong. I do not think that this one could go 10x. So what I'm looking,
it's not that kind of coin.
No, but it's a well positioned, like it's a really good way to put a lot of your capital in a way, right? Because it's going to appreciate in value. And if AI comes back on, Tau is a great project, man. Like it's a great. Now what I'm going back to is all the beta stuff on Tau, right? Things that we can capitalize on Tau that this is the time to actually get a little bit more aggressive in terms of risk and low market cap stuff. So that's what I'm trying to I'm gonna deploy more capital into low market cap stuff. Why? Because those are the ones that it could actually rip off like
so what do you want in low market cap, high beta stuff that you shouldn't now let's just tell people the reason for using high beta coins are coins that are related to a coin but move more. So for example, Pepe is an Ethereum meme, but when Ethereum goes up, Pepe goes up, but it goes up more, and when it goes down more. So when you play those coins, you shouldn't use leverage because you're using the spot instead of leverage.
Exactly. So obviously leverage, and this is something to talk about. Leverage trading is a different mindset of spot holdings or stuff like that. So obviously, I don't know if people have done the leverage course or if we have people that have done the leverage course, they know what I mean in terms that you go in and out, you manage your capital, you move stop losses. It's a more active way to make money.
And if you're using leverage, you don't need to go past the big coins. Like I would be using Doge leverage, right?
Yeah,
Like,
which we did, right? So let me show you Dodge.
Totally.
Like we did this play on Dodge. We took some profits around here, and now this thing is just, we already 3x our leverage account, right? In the last couple of weeks with this play. So we took Miro, we took APT, we took Rune. Some of them got stopped out, by the way, and we did get Popcat. So obviously, this is one of the things that if you know how to play with leverage, then this is the time to play well. Obviously, now the downside is that you either need to time pullbacks, which is quite hard because you don't know if this thing's going to pull back all the way here or here or here or here. How narrow is going to be the pullback? So you can actually size properly. That's the challenge now. Everything is going to go up. So the easiest thing is actually doing it on spot if you don't know how to do leverage. But the downside is that you're limited to the amount of stuff that you can do. Why leverage is good? We took this. I don't care about Dodge. I don't care about holding Dodge, right? I don't care about holding this stuff. I just care about making money, right? In a way. So think about it from the perspective that, let's talk about the Dodge trade that we took on October. This thing went up. We took some profit here. I can actually take some profit here, and now I can use that same profit to actually do more leverage trades as I go in the bull run. So it's a quicker way to actually get, capitalize in a way, but then you need to spend more time in the computer. You need to spend more time on this. You need to time the entries. Is nothing that you can actually do much to not timing the entries because you're looking for the leverage. So with that being said, let me show you the stuff that I'm looking into small caps. And I talked about it. So my first a bunch of stuff broke out. Obviously, you cannot actually keep up with the market. And this is one of the things that there's going to be a lot of coins that are going to be nuts. And I don't know if you guys get into this feeling that you want to buy everything. I did mention that on Friday. Like, I want to buy everything, but then do you have enough capital? How do you manage your capital? How do you manage your portfolio? That's the thing that you need to sort of, before you trade or before you actually start buying, need to think about how are you going to deploy it. And that's why I've been doing these listings for a while, just to be ready to know what I'm going to buy in these kind of situations. Same thing when things top up, man. When things top up, we need to get out on something. We need to get out. We need to cash out in a way, right? So we have to be mindful on that. Like, is crypto going to go for ages? Who knows? Maybe for 12 months, maybe for 6 months. But for the time being, we're just analyzing price action, right? So with that being said, I did talk about Neural a while back. So Neural is let me just open it up here because I did talk about that one. So I did talk about this tree. So in terms of Tau betas, okay, and Neural is actually it's two favorites that I have is Chat AI and Neural, and I wish I knew. I bought this. I haven't bought any of this, but I think this one could go really, really high. We have a market cap of 70 million, something like that, and yeah, so it's still really market cap, very, very small market cap, and this one could actually do really well in terms of the project, in terms of the AI, in terms of what they're doing. So I really like this one. So I'm looking to, let's see how far we get in a pullback. Let's see if we actually get a pullback. And this is one of the things that I might start doing, and because you don't know how far the pullback is going to go. You don't know if it's going to go here to all-time high, so you here or here, but something that I do usually in this type of environments is that you buy a little bit here. So let's say that you have a position that is going to be $500. So you split that in 3 and then you start buying here. If you have a pullback, you start buying here and you leave a little bit of that position to actually, if that comes back. If it doesn't, then at least you're in on the top, right? Like, because this is clear a breakout. This is clearly all-time highs, right? Is this going to pull back or is this going to continue on? That and especially with these environments where everybody wants to buy, this is the this is the kind of things that it could be a strategy that you can use so you don't get sort of like anxious and buying and I'm gonna buy the whole thing. So this is my favorite one. There is this other one that is chat, right? And this on Tau. This is on Tau. Very, very small market cap, 6.7 mil at the moment, but I think this one could do pretty well, at least 2 all-time highs here. So I'm looking at this one, and I'm looking at agent. Yeah, I've been talking about agent and all these agent ecosystems and all that sort of stuff, man. So I think this one could do really well. So I'm just getting a really good list of a small market cap that we can actually do in and start getting position on these ones, because you know, once the market keeps moving, then I think these ones are going to be the ones that are going to give you the highest reward, right? Like this is the ones that are going to go 10x or 20x or even more, like 50x, who knows, right? But then, yeah, those are my favorites so far. In terms of, I'm looking at, that's for the small market cap. For the leverage things, right? Fuck, I'm looking at Foxy. We got out of Foxy on the risk, and Foxy just yesterday pulled up a fucking 40% off, 40% increase. And this is the thing as well in terms of, you know, this crypto thing. When it comes back hard. So I'm looking into either spot or actually getting a position on Foxy. So I've been, yeah, I had a really high conviction on Foxy, but I had to do risk. But I'm looking into getting back into this one. You could, like, it looks pretty solid here on this level. I don't know how far this one will come back, but there's a highly likelihood that this one will get to all-time highs. If it breaks, it will go price discovery. And you know, Foxy is the meme for Linea, for the MetaMask. So definitely, that's why, you know, I think this project could go to really, really well. So I'm looking at this one. I'm looking at a spec as well to actually get into leverage. So I'm following this one to see how. Yeah, I do manage this on lower timeframes just to make sure that we get that really, really good risk reward. And I'm looking at Sundog. So I think Sundog, it will do its comeback. Sundog is just being dead, but the fact, yeah, this one could be the lead meme on Tron. So that's what I'm playing on this one. So that's what I have at the moment in terms of the biggest things that I'm looking into getting either position today or during the week. So it might, another one's one might come in. Another one as well. So many opportunities, man. Like this is the tough game, right? Like this, which one you choose, which one you go into. I think that's kind of the toughest game at the moment. But I'm looking at Cook. Do you guys remember? Did you guys did the meth airdrop and stuff like that? I know a while back we mentioned about that one. So just wondering who actually did the meth and got the airdrop of Cook. I did got some. That wasn't that great, but it got some Cook. All right, so yeah, so Cook on the back of Mantle, I think it might do well. So I'm looking into getting a leverage position here as well. And Ina, yeah, Ina, someone's mentioning Ina in the chat.
Ina is a real standout here so far.
I know. That's why I'm looking into getting into a leverage. We are on.
There was a proposal in their governance token released proposed by Wintermute while everyone was on the plane to Bangkok. So that's just come out. And so Wintermute is the biggest market maker in crypto, and they're proposing that more of the revenue of USD.E gets shared with Ina token holders.
Right. Okay. I didn't know that. That's actually good news.
It's
Very,
good news,
very good news. Yeah. So with that being said, you know, different ways to actually play it. And I might be doing much more split trades. So obviously, if you guys have followed me for a while, sometimes I do, let's say Ina, let's take it for instance, right? So how would you play this if you do a leverage play, right? Because we are holding a spot, or you can just buy a spot and hold it. But then how can you do a leverage play? Let's say that we say that this could be sort of the retracement. So you can either go for a higher risk on two trades. So let's say if you want to risk $500, you risk $200 on the based on the 4 hour sort of stop loss and based on the daily stop loss. So you can actually just place a trade like this, higher leverage, kind of in a way, and then another one like this, right? Or probably right here. I'm just making it up, right? So that will give you kind of like exposure on both with leverage. And then if this one gets stopped out, at least you're protected on that one. But then this is the type of sort of things that you get in the bull run, that you get really, really narrow pullbacks. And by the way, if you get stopped out, you get stopped out, right? That's kind of the whole thing, right? Can we go here? Can we go here? That's a challenge. So I might be doing a lot of this stuff, guys. So you know, I'll explain it now, so I don't have to explain it when I do the call. Please, you know, that's how I actually do it. So you can either take one or you can take both, splitting the risk on both, or you can actually take only spot. So it's basically up to you. How do you manage your portfolio? So yeah, there's going to be a lot of this type of trading in the next couple of weeks / months. Let's see how it goes, man. So I really like this one. So those are my favorites. This is what I've been looking this morning, but it's a lot of opportunities, guys. Like this is nuts, man. The way that the market has sort of come back. Yeah, I never thought I was going to be that strong that quick, but that means a lot of people are willing to buy. Retail has not even come back in completely, and if we let's have a look at
let's just ask in the chat who's had normie friends asking them about should they buy, because I got 2 messages over the weekend, one from a real estate agent I know and another from a guy at my fight gym asking me what he should buy right now. Not yet. Brian, have you had people asking you? Nick, not yet. Stephen, not yet. I think we're still pretty early, guys.
I agree. And think about it from the
Robert's
perspective.
friends are asking.
So it's like I've started getting that momentum, and you will see that on Bitcoin, right? And the tough thing here is when you go into price discovery, when things are going to top up. It's a tough game.
Okay, so let's talk about price discovery for those people who are new. So there's a very big psychological difference between Bitcoin under the highest price it ever was, which was 70,000, and Bitcoin above 70,000. Below 70,000, people are comparing it to what was. They're like, oh, I can't sell it because it owes me money. I bought it in 2021 for $69,000. I've got to hold to get my money back. Once it gets above that, it's blue sky. It's like psychologically, it's like, well, how high do you think it's going to go? Like, I don't fucking know, 200,000, 300,000 per Bitcoin seems totally fucking reasonable. But 2 weeks ago, if I said 200,000, 300,000 for one Bitcoin, you'd say, oh, Scott, you're just bullshitting. You're pulling those numbers out. You're pulling them out of your ass, you know? Like, but as soon as we get to the highest price everyone's ever seen, every single person who's ever bought that coin is showing a profit. Every single person who's bought that coin, we all know that one coin has the capability of making you rich. Like I bought $2,000 worth of Retardio and I've got $500,000 worth of Retardio. Like just one play can fucking do that for you, right? Only takes one coin. And so people stop selling. And what happens when people stop selling is the price goes up because it's a balance of sellers and buyers. And all the sellers just go, no, fuck it. You're not selling my lottery ticket. What if that's the next Retardio? What if that's the next Mudeng? What if that's the next Go? What if that's the next?
I agree. So I think, I don't know what you reckon, Scott, but I think 100 could be a really good psychological level for Bitcoin, unless we see something different in terms of the price action throughout this. But I think that could be a really close possibility in terms of the first sort of like, because think about it, everybody's talking about Bitcoin to 100, Bitcoin to 100, Bitcoin to 100. So
no one's going to hold Bitcoin since 2021. Sell it, hold it down to 16, back to 70, fuck around for 6 months at 70. At 6 months, the last 6 months have hurt my fucking feelings. There's no one who's going to go, oh, I'm glad that's over. I'll just sell out now for 80. Like, you fucking retards. Of course, no one's selling for 80. Like we've put up with the pain. I want the gain. It's now.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I think that's kind of the target that I'm looking at to see how the price action will look like, right? That's why I'm not taking profit, like in terms of the leverage trades. I'm not taking profit as aggressive now.
So are you watching open interest? Are you watching?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Okay.
So let me show you. So
Please.
definitely keeping an eye on that. So where are you? Had it here. No.
And one thing I'd say is that what you guys want as long-only investors is you don't want it to look too great. If it looks too great, it's going to be a 6 months and done bull market. What you want is a significant amount of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. What you want as a long-only investor is for there still to be reasons not to invest. That's absolutely what you want. You don't want it to look so amazing that you can't help but buy, because that's what the end looks like. You know, we've got to start. Okay, what do we?
Okay, so what I'm looking at here, I'm following this. This is the funding rate APR, the funding rate.
Back, like what you can get 20% on stables today on USDE.
Exactly, but then obviously, you know, this is you don't know how far this thing could get to. We've known in the past that these things have gone completely nuts, right, on bull run. But then this is what I'm following, right? And what you've seen in the past is that when everything is actually just really high on the funding rate, then there's a highly likelihood that we might start seeing a little bit of profit taking. Is that going to take you all the way down to a pullback or to a sell-off or to? It could, but that's what we're trying to sort of be mindful of. So that's why I'm a little bit more.
So just bring up a velo chart for, say, Bitcoin, because it's leading the way here. We'll show people how to do it here. Okay, so just make it a 12-hour chart or something like that. Actually, maybe a 2-hour chart is probably more.
That's right.
Okay, so what we can see is that in that last little spurt up, actually, let's drop it back down to a 30-minute chart like you had it. Sorry, man.
No worries.
You can see that open interest is starting to go down as that goes up. Now, what you want to work, there's two theories there. Theory one is that it's motherfuckers banking profit before it tanks. Theory two is that it's liquidations of shorts. So do we see, if we zoom in, do we see any liquidations? We see some, but not like
right here,
not amazing liquidations.
Yeah.
And
because we had most of the liquidations here on the 6th of November.
So this looks a little bit stinky for me here. I would expect a little bit of a pullback here.
It could. I see what you mean. Yeah, definitely, it could. How far the pullback will might go? That's the thing, because
I don't think it's going to go very far at all, because
I don't think so.
There's a bunch of people waiting to deploy capital, me included.
I agree. Because think about it from the perspective that we just had the weekend, and all this happened during the weekend. So a lot of institutions or a lot of like investors are not able to position themselves yet. Is that good? Is that bad? We might just see a little bit of a flush and then quick, very quick sort of you know. So setting up limit orders, if you don't know how to set up limits, I think it's not a bad idea if you don't want to get in here. But obviously, where do you set the limit, right? Like that's kind of the intricacy of a bull run. Right? So, but it looks like what I've seen is that you get a lot of people that actually go long with high leverage here. And this is kind of what you don't want to do. You don't want to go on a breakout with a high leverage. Usually, you know, you get liquidated. You get small pullbacks. So
when you see the open interest declining while price is going up, this should be flashing a very, very big alert for you if you're leverage trading. This is one of the key things in leverage trading, because what it tells us is that people are already starting to sell as price goes up. So if people are already starting to sell as price goes up, what the fuck do you think they're going to do as soon as price starts to turn down? They're going to try and mash the button and solidify their profits. So in context, we've had a move from 66,000 in Bitcoin to 82,000. If it pulls back a little bit, people will be thinking, well, I really want to lock in these gains. Open interest is the second graph there, the second from the top.
So we have two open. This one. And by the way, this is the aggregated one. So it actually takes the data.
I think this is the best one.
Binance.
I think it's...
Yeah, I agree. You can actually create Velodata has also for an independent exchange. You can do only Bybit or whatever. But I think having a whole market exposure here in terms of Bybit and Binance, and I think they add in Hyperliquid as well into the aggregated side of things. So it's a very compelling chart in terms of what leverage traders are doing. This is not telling you what spot traders are doing. This is telling you what leverage traders are doing, right? So that's kind of the intricacy of this.
Let me dig into that a little bit. So leverage trader markets, you get like 50, 100 to 1 leverage. So if I've got $1 million, I can swing around a $50 million position in theory. I can't really, but it's more like a $5 million position. So at some point when the open interest gets too big, normally the derivatives market, the futures market, is the tail, and the dog is going where the dog wants to go, and the tail just wags along behind. At a certain level of a high open interest, the tail starts to wag the dog, and all these leverage buyers, because they've got a lot of buying power, they start to actually wiggle the dog around, and that's when it gets dangerous.
Which you can actually visualize as a whole chart if you go to Velodata as well. On the bottom here, you have the
this is velo.xyz, by the way. This is a really cool piece of software. It's free. It's really neat. I use it every day.
It gives you a really, really good indication where the market's at. So let me sum into all coins 1 year. So you'll see what Scott is actually referring to. And I always keep an eye on this, but that doesn't mean that. So right now we have the open interest as high as it has ever been in the past since December 2023.
Yeah, it's a little bit stinky, dude.
I know.
So we're gonna have a flush out, and so the purpose the purpose of a bull market is to shake you out. That's just what it's called, a bull, for a reason. It's trying to buck you off, right? So
and I do believe today might be a little bit of a pull, of an extension of what happened over the weekend, and then we might have a little bit of a pullback. How far of a pullback we might have, well, we'll find out. We'll see, man. But that could be.
And look at the CVD for the. Can you load up the CVD for the large cap coins instead of that graph that you had just there? You had it on Velodata. That one, yeah. The top right hand panel, if you change that to large caps. Okay, now change. What's that down the bottom?
Sheep.
Fuck sheep. Sheep's fuck.
Sheep's fuck, man.
So
top here, Bitcoin definitely.
So we're not seeing a continuation. Like, I think what we saw overnight was the last gasp of this phase of the move. We're looking for a pullback for 2, 3, 4 days, and then see how it's been. Pullback for 2 days, maybe even 1 day. Like who fucking knows? But I wouldn't buy today. Looking at that.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I
don't know if it's going to be a retest, Perry. Donna, it's actually not quite retail anymore, because if you think about the Bitcoin and Ethereum markets are the only markets that are open for professionals to hedge on a weekend. So if you have a stock portfolio and you're worried about it going down, the smart thing for you to do is hedge with Bitcoin over the weekend. It's actually the cheapest hedge you can do. It's much better than buying put options now. So we've got a thing where Bitcoin is becoming an integral part of the whole financial system just because it's open on weekends. ETF inflows are incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, but it's going to open. They're going to open like the ET inflows are close over the weekend, right? So think about from that perspective that you will not know that data until tomorrow, and then it's already late. Like that's a tough data to read. You know what I mean? Like the ETF inflows. Yeah, I haven't been able to actually get. I think there is a way to get
farside.org
real time data or stuff like that, but then
it's 3 days delayed. You get it from farside.org.
No, but in actually in CoinGlass, Scott, you can actually get it like 1 day delay.
Really?
You go coin, yeah. Let me just send it to you.
Thanks.
And it's actually pretty good. CoinGlass Bitcoin ETF. Right here. So it's actually this is on 8, which is over the weekend. So yeah, usually they update it every day. So you can actually get it like a faster response with this one, and you can also see which one is the bigger player here.
A friend of mine just got a warning from Hyperliquid trying to open a new long on Doge. Said cannot increase position when open interest is at cap. So
holy shit, really? That's the first time
yeah.
that has happened.
I've never seen that before.
No, me neither. I haven't seen that before.
And that's it's flashing a red warning sign for a single day crash as you can get, right?
Interesting. Okay. Now that's definitely a really good piece of data. Yeah, so probably would be a good idea to get some cash into order. If you haven't cashed out on Dodge, probably go ahead and cash 50. You know what I mean? Like it's Dodge, man, it's been ripping off. So and we
I bank half your profits on Doge.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I closed my Mudeng short at a loss today. That was a fucking bad idea. I got run over there.
Yeah, I saw that one. Me too. I got it. Like I got to stop down on that one, man. Like it looked good. It looked good at the beginning, to be honest. Like it made sense, but then obviously this bull run is too freaking strong.
It's just so strong. Even the garbage is going up.
Exactly. Anything that wants to be moved up, move. So it's actually it's pretty easy. Like if you buy anything, everything is gonna go up, man. Like it's just which ones are the ones that are going to be sustained for the next couple, and it's going to be sustained on the pullbacks, right? So that's kind of what we trying to do. So yeah, no, but this is the time to actually play hard, man. So I'll be doing a lot of trading, guys, and obviously, if you're gonna miss some, you're gonna take some. So yeah.
By the way, anyone who's ever used the Hyperliquid thing, go to the link that I just posted in the chat. This is your last day to claim your free Hyperliquid tokens. They get released in like 2-3 days. Ian, have you done it?
No, I'll just go there now.
Oh fuck, man. The fuck, dude. This shit is gonna be worth a lot. Like I'm getting like, we don't know how much it is, but it's gonna be.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really good airdrop. Really good airdrop.
Linear Hyperliquid is an exchange for leverage trading that is suitable for US users. I use it. It's really good. You don't need a username. The advantage is you don't need a username and password. You don't have to tell anyone who you are. You just connect your wallet to it. You should, Andrew, if you're in the USA using a VPN, just set your VPN to somewhere else. You should be able to claim.
More than likely.
I would get it, guys. I'm going to get like 30 grand out of it. It's like it's not nothing. It's like a lot. Like,
Yeah,
it's
definitely. And someone's asking, it's too late. Yeah, definitely it's too late for the hyperliquid to claim to actually get into it, because obviously you should have been trading for hyperliquid in a while in order to qualify for points and for volume and all that sort of stuff, and that's what they're giving you in terms of airdrops. So I think they're gonna do more airdrops in the future, but I don't know. Like, yeah, like if you haven't done any trading, like it's too late to actually get any points or anything at this stage.
But if you have, it takes like less than a minute to do. I just did it like
how many
then.
points you got?
Oh, I'm still waiting for that to come back. But I was just click, 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 click. I'll go.
Yeah, I got pretty good. I got a pretty good airdrop on that one. So yeah.
Is it?
And looks like
An airdrop happens in 2 days too.
yeah.
And the token is called Hype. And I personally, a lot of people will probably dump it on launch, so it'll probably go up and then go down. I would not dump it on launch. I think it's the standout product with product market fit this cycle. I think it's going to be almost as, I think it's going to be bigger than KuCoin. I think it's going to be almost as big as Bybit.
Which is that being said, I was going to have it in my list as well as go, because I think if you haven't done any, like, that could be a really good spot back for people to hold, right? Like that.
I think that's a really great spot bag for people.
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree with.
And why? Because Trump just got in, and Trump is not going to prosecute any DeFi stuff, which means that the only way for Americans to do leverage gambling on order book dexes is through one of these perp dexes, and Hyperliquid is 5 times as big as the number 2 place. That's my thinking.
Definitely. Now that I agree with that.
And also, it's a dope ticker name. The ticker is Hype. I think that's a fucking cool name.
Yep, it will be. It will be, and it's a great platform. Like, obviously, I really like Hyperliquid. So definitely is, yeah. It is very fast, and it has good liquidity. It's getting much better in terms of liquidity. Like, you can trade it like regular. So I think it's gonna get really good. A lot of big people are actually trading on that. So that could be a really good spot back to hold. Probably don't buy it on launch. There's usually what happens with airdrops is that people usually sell at least half.
Yeah. You would expect it to spike and then drop, because, like, I'm getting 30 grand for free. Like, there's the temptation to go, oh, I want to buy all these other things and I can just sell my Hype and get that. But when it bottoms out, I would buy more.
Yeah, so probably wait for at least a day today, see how the market behaves, and we'll track it. I'll track it, guys, throughout the videos, because that's going to be one of my plays anyway. So definitely. Man, it's too many opportunities right there, right? Too much stuff, man.
Let me dig into the meme coins quickly. I got people asking.
Sure.
All right.
Go ahead.
So for a start, my biggest position and strongest conviction position is Retardio. Let's take a quick look at the chart. The arrow is the buy. At 1/10 of a cent, we've got a 200 bagger. We got a 200x here. Not selling any. What do I like about it? What did I always like about it? I like that when it has big dips, the top holders don't sell. They've been through multiple long sideways periods and giant big 70% dips from 14 cents down to 2 cents. That's a 90% dip, and then back up to 25. This is exactly what I want to see. Now, I track very closely this holder scan data. If we look at how many new members, how many new funded wallets, these are wallets with money in them. In the last 7 days, we've got nearly 3,000 new wallets. It's growing at about 10% a week. Niggerbutt, we're out of. Mitch is a scam, but it's going to be our scam, so hold that if you got it. Fat GF, you can see once they start to go down, they go down. Like SPX is one of the most hyped memes. It's only put in 1,400 new members on 25,000 holders. Retardio's 1/10 the value, and it's got more holders, and it's growing faster. All these Trump things are over. Trump is done. Putting on 3% after a Trump victory, that's not. Popcat, is growing the strongest of the large memes. Everything's going up. This Turbo and SPX look done to me. Billy looks done to me. Crash out starting to come good, and lock in 10% growth over the week. Mudang, I don't like Mudang, but lock in, Giga, Retardio, and Sigma are the standout plays. So let's look at Sigma. That's just a beautiful chart. Again, we're seeing the same long sideways pullbacks, deep pullbacks, and lately we're seeing every pullback bought, every pullback bought, every pullback bought. This is a beautiful chart. Compare and contrast to Nigabutt, which we don't like because it's running out of steam, and you can see that it's starting to huff and puff. It's the little engine that couldn't. Crash out. I really like this here. I think that's a nice survive to pull back. It's a very small value coin. It's a $2 million coin, so it's going to pump the fuck if it pumps. I like this one. The bubble maps is right. We haven't got too many traders with giant positions. 5% for the liquidity pool, 2% for the top traders. That's looking pretty good. Giga at 600 million, it starts to look a bit expensive. That's all I've got to say about that. I wouldn't buy Giga at 600 million. I'd buy lock-in at 88 million. And with all these small coins, what you want to do is you want to look at the market cap and then load up the list of the top memes by market cap, which you can get coin market cap view memes. I'll just post it in the chat. And go, okay, Shiba at 16 billion. Okay, Dogecoin is an outlier, but I can definitely see Pepe at 5 billion flipping Shiba at 16. Dog with Hat and Bonk, I think these will, and Flocky is, I think Popcat is as good as any of these. I can see that it should jump up. Nero's a scam. Brett has good holder metrics, but fucked if I know why. Goat, I think this is not going to work very well. I like Mog. I like Ponky, seems like a marketing exercise, but it'll probably pump. I wouldn't do that. SPX 6900 at 757 million. Turbo at 628 million. These are all a little bit overvalued. Mudang at 423 million. Yeah, I like Mog. I think Mog is good.
Mm-hmm.
Good point, Andrew. That's all I've got for today, really. I mean, I think we're in a good spot. You just got to be prepared to ride out some volatility. Don't get leverage today. I think we're good. DJT, nice. The real coin or the meme coin? Perry R, I don't know what the fuck that is. Like I don't know. Let's have a quick look. ARRR. Meme. No, that's not going to make it, dude. Fuck that.
All right. Well, that was an absolute banger of a call today. So that I was practicing the Mudeng at the weekend to get it right from red pork to wobbly, and it's that Mudeng. but I still can't
Dang.
stop that thing.
Yeah, my wife heard me telling someone a mudang like the red pork, and she's like shaking her head, going, "Farang's so stupid. How you not know the difference between dang and dang?"
Exactly.
Hey, she's like, husband, are you stupid? How you not tell the difference, mudang and mudang? You hear? You stupid? You stupid, Farang?
Wow, that's eerily similar to my experience.
Yeah. Get that submissive Asian wife. Yeah, the submission Asian bad wife. I can work with that, buddy.
Nice. See you later, everyone. Ta-da.
Bye, guys. Have a